So we've talked about the most common strategies used by most kidnappers. But there is one kidnapper that is sneakier than all the rest. There is one kidnapper that somehow manages to steal thousands of kids every single day. Now,
you haven't met this kidnapper yet, but we are sure, 100% sure you will meet this kidnapper one day.
This kidnapper doesn't have a last name, but he does have a first name.
Drugs.
Drugs. Now, we know drugs aren't a person, but we choose to think of him as a person because drugs are very sneaky as any kidnapper. And they do steal you away. Think about it. If you're happy, healthy, and have a good, prosperous family life, if drugs infiltrate your life, they're gonna take you away from your happiness, steal your health, and take you away from your family, possibly forever.
And your goals.
Oh, everything.
Anything you want to do. You want to become a doctor, a fireman. It's going to make things more difficult.
So we think of drugs as the ultimate kidnapper. The ultimate kidnapper. If they get a hold of you and you become addicted, everything, your rest of your life goes like boom instead of upwards. So let's talk about the effects of drugs. Obviously the health effects.
Yes.
Right? I mean, drugs can kill you. Some drugs, if abused, can kill you. Many of them, actually.
I mean, if I did drugs, then I'd be getting tapped out by everybody in jiu-jitsu.
He would not be as good as he is, for sure. You can't reach your max potential in any field if you're addicted to drugs.
It messes with your reflexes a little bit.
Reflexes.
That'd be so slow.
Yeah, it makes you smell worse. I mean, there's some health ones. There's some social reasons why. I mean, it takes over your life. It becomes your most important thing, your focus, your priority, which means you can't have other priorities, right? Because this is taking control, literally, of your life. Types of drugs.
Marijuana,
cocaine, pills, cigarettes, alcohol. Just because they're legal, right? Once you turn, 18, 21 years old, just because you're allowed to smoke cigarettes and it's legal to drink alcohol, does that mean it's good? Absolutely not. For us, it's all the same. The Gracie family. Drug-free, 100%. For 3 generations. Our grandfather didn't do drugs. Our father doesn't do drugs. And we don't do drugs. Why? Why doesn't the Gracie family do drugs?
Well, first of all, I don't think that I need drugs because I have jiu-jitsu.
Right, jiu-jitsu.
It's kind of like my drug.
Wow, jiu-jitsu is the ultimate, healthy drug.
People do drugs for what reason? Because maybe they're a little stressed out. Maybe they want to fit in. They want to do something that everyone's doing.
Yeah.
So I just do jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
And
you can do soccer,
anything.
Basketball,
Bowling.
art, musician, right? You can play music, play piano, whatever it is. Get something that you can commit yourself to and have as your passion, because if you let drugs sneak in, they will become your passion in a bad way, and they'll take over your life. So find something you love and let that be your drug, so to speak, what you dedicate yourself to and what you are passionate about. Now, back in the day, in the Gracie family, our grandfather didn't do drugs for obviously the health reasons, but really he wanted to make sure he was always in his right state of mind, because in the Gracie family, we had people challenging family members often to fight. Let's say a karate guy wants to fight my grandfather has to be healthy, has to be focused, right? And drugs do not help that at all. So that's why he didn't do it. He had his reasons. You might have your own reasons, right? Ours are very similar. We like keeping our knowledge, 100% pure, keeping our minds focused, and staying healthy, and we want to live long. I don't want to die halfway through.
On top of all this health thing, they're illegal.
Right.
Don't do drugs because you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, it's not good. So drugs, any substance, right? Pill, cigarette, smoke, tobacco, anything that you are consuming that has addictive qualities, that can be addictive, and should not be consumed. So avoid them 100%.
So now we're teaching you.
Why? Why is it so critical that we have this conversation right now with you? Because for sure,
somebody, someday, one of your best friends, one of your friends is gonna come to you and say, hey, try this.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's not really them who is trying to get you to do the drugs. The drugs have like
Control over them.
the drugs like infected your friend. And now the drugs through your friend are trying to get a hold of you. So you have to understand that, yeah, it's so incredible that you get ready for this because no one ever told me this. It's like, as when I was a kid, when we were kids, a lot of police officers taught us about drugs and teachers taught us about drugs and to say no and this and that, and it all made sense, but no one ever told us that it was gonna be our best friends who were gonna try to bring us into the drugs. That's very serious, and it's something that you must be ready for, because if not, when your best friend who you trust and you like and you hang out with all the time asks you to do drugs, you might just say yes.
And because it is your best friend, if your best friend gives you a Coke,
You just do it.
or
It's just, that's my
some
best
candy.
friend.
Here's
That's
some
my
candy
best friend.
for
Hey,
you.
for sure. Whatever, brother. Whatever.
So you have to start thinking about how you're gonna say no when it comes to
be ready.
drugs.
It's so major.
Unhealthy, illegal, not a good hobby.
Yeah. So, for sure, one day, someone very close to you, maybe not your best friend, because if you have a smart best friend, you shouldn't have a problem. If they don't do drugs, you don't do drugs, you're good to go. But one day, someone very close to you is going to say, hey, try this. Boom. It's really fun. It feels really good. And when that happens, you need to know two things. Why to say no and how to say no. Why to say no. We already talked about it. Health, life, goes like, messes up your whole life. How to say no. The easiest way is to put it on your parents. Ask me to do drugs.
Do some drugs. Take this.
Nah, man, trust me, if I do this, I'm gonna get in huge trouble with my parents.
Your parents will never know.
They're gonna kill me. Please, can't do it. So put it off on your parents. That's the easiest way, okay? But eventually, he don't do these drugs.
No.
Why not?
Unhealthy. I just don't want to do it.
Eventually, put it on yourself. You don't do drugs because you don't do drugs. So put it on your parents at first, then take the responsibility, okay? So that's how you say no. Pretty simple. Push it off, okay? Act like you're gonna get in trouble, but eventually, I got to that point. In 8th grade, eventually I said, guys, I don't do drugs. Sorry, it's not for me. And then they stopped asking me. And we were still cool, but they just knew that Henner was the one in the group who does not do drugs. Clear? Now, there's a very important thing for you to understand here. If someone drove up in a car, some random stranger, and says, hey kids, come with me. There's a really cool new park over here. I want to show you this new park. Get in my car, let's go. Do you get in the car? Absolutely not. Now, trying drugs for the first time is the exact same thing as getting into the car with a kidnapper. Once you get in, it's possible that you get out. It's possible. But it's way, way, way harder than if you just don't get in the car to begin with.
And that's because the chemicals in the drugs are very addicting.
Yes.
So, but the thing is, to try something one time, isn't that okay? Just try it once, just once.
In the case of drugs, it's like getting in the car one time.
No, can't do it.
You can't. There's too much risk. There's too much at stake here. So don't get into the car. It's so major.
Just to know how it tastes, to try it once. You can't.
Trust me.
I don't want to do it.
You might like it. If I try beer, I might like beer. Then guess what? My whole life changes because now I'm in love and addicted and I'm an alcoholic or addicted to some other drug, So it's not even worth trying because you might like it and then you might become addicted. Major. Now, we have some students.